Welcome to Meet the Candidates. I'm your host, Kim Kotis, and I'm here with Brenda Sprader, a candidate for Muskegon County Probate Judge. Welcome, Brenda.
Thank you. Great
Brenda,
to be here.
Tell us a little bit about your background and why you're running for Probate Judge.
Well, Kinman, I am a native of Muskegon County. I've lived here my entire life, and I went to Orchard View High School, and then I went to Muskegon Community College, and from there I went to Grand Valley State University. I graduated summa cum laude, and I attended Thomas Cooley Law School. Once I finished law school, I opened my own firm here in Muskegon, and I started out as public defender for Muskegon County juveniles, handling criminal cases. I had a lot of trials and a lot of court time right away when I started because of that contract. It was actually a really good start to my career. And then I also handled abuse neglect cases for the public defender as well. And then I handled a few mental health court cases. So I've had an interesting start. Once the public defender's office came to Muskegon, which I think was a great asset to have. I think it's helped people tremendously. Mm-hmm. And once they came in, a lot of the attorneys that had contracts lost those contracts. So at that time, I started to focus more on my law firm and moved into family law. I did a lot more divorce and custody cases, parenting time, guardianship, and I'm extremely busy.
So the cases that come before this court are things you're quite familiar with and have experience in?
Yes, let's talk about that a little bit. The position probate court judge, that means something to people. And as I'm meeting people in the community, going door to door, they're asking me questions. What does a probate judge do? Well, for Muskegon County, this particular position is going to hear family law cases. We have a current sitting judge that has a lot of experience with probate, and she is going to take over the probate docket. And Judge Marietti, there is an article on MLive about the change of the docket. He explained that the new position will be a full-time family court. So hearing that, I was very excited, and I decided to run for the probate position primarily because it was a family law position.
Well, let's talk about some of the things that come before the family court. You mentioned a variety of types of cases that you handled in private practice, but let's talk about the variety of cases that will come before family court, because I think most people think it may be divorce, but it could be child custody, juvenile issues. Could you explain a little more about what they handle?
Yes. A family law court will handle divorce cases with and without children. They'll handle custody, parenting time, grandparenting time, adoption cases, guardianship, personal protection orders. They handle a variety of family law issues.
And how are some of the ways that you can make the experience for the client before the court much easier for them or more user-friendly?
Well, I think it's important to have had the experience of sitting with your client before court and during court and hearing their struggles and responses about what's happening during their court day. And from that experience, I believe that I have some insight. They want, first of all, to be able to have their case heard. And their time is important. Many times we sit and wait, and court is adjourned and we have to come back. And I think it's important to realize that's costing them money. Either they're missing work to be there, or they're paying me as an attorney to sit with them. There's also witness costs. We have doctors and teachers and professionals that are there also missing work, and oftentimes we have to pay for expert witnesses. And if we have to reschedule and come back, that creates issues for the client, and it's very frustrating for the client.
Are there some preliminary procedures that clients may go through before they come to trial in terms of pre-trial or an assessment of what the conditions are, mediation, other things of that nature?
Yes, particularly the attorneys get involved in settlement, procedures. We can do mediation. The judge could order mediation. But we have a pre-trial with divorce cases where we can go in and tell the judge what we have settled and what we don't have settled, and then that particular judge would determine how much court time we need. Not so much here in Muskegon County do the judges order mediation. In Grand Haven, I do practice there sometimes. They order mediation in every divorce case. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that either, because some instances the attorneys can handle it without mediation, and that's an unnecessary cost for some clients. But if we petition the court, sometimes they will waive that. But they use that tool at a much greater number than what we do here in Muskegon County.
Are some of the challenges with dealing with family and divorce issues having to decide who the financial support and the parenting time and division of assets, is that something that you work out in advance prior to the trial?
They try. The attorneys will try to come up with agreements. Friend of court also helps with some of those issues regarding child support. But the judge has rules and laws that you have to follow with regards to especially spousal support or child support, and there's factors that are used to determine what would be appropriate. And each judge has their own view of how long or how much support should be awarded or ordered. But for the most part, they have to take into account, all of the factors that are involved in making that decision.
Thank you. Well, we'll be right back. Please stay with us for Brenda Sprader, who's running for Muskegon County Probate Judge.
With 4 convenient locations, Jack's Corner Store is one-stop shopping at its best. Tools, fresh meats, produce, chips, snacks, and other grocery items, beer, wine, and liquor, even gas and lottery. That's why Jack's is your corner store, and so much more.
Hi, my name is Michael Poulin, and I'm a candidate for the office of Sheriff in Muskegon County. This office has been a career goal of mine, and I've directed my professional law enforcement career towards it. My qualifications are based on my education, my professional development, and over 28 years of law enforcement experience here in Muskegon County. During my career at the Sheriff's Office, I was promoted through the ranks, ultimately serving as captain. Having the opportunity to lead every division from jail administrator, traffic services supervisor, training coordinator, SWAT commander, and detective bureau supervisor. As your sheriff, I will be fiscally responsible and put an end to wasteful spending. I will ensure that your safety and the safety of the public safety community are my #1 priority. Through professional development and community support, I will bring integrity and accountability back to the office of sheriff. Thank you for your time. I would appreciate your consideration on August 2nd to serve as your next Muskegon County Sheriff.
The Pizza Ranch, featuring a buffet that is guaranteed to please even the pickiest eaters. From a full soup and salad bar, pizzas and breadsticks, to mouth-watering roasted chicken, potatoes and gravy, vegetables, drinks and desserts, all for just one price. Their menu features a wide variety of delectable favorites. You can dine in, carry out, or have your meals delivered. There's something for everyone at the Pizza Ranch.
Welcome back to Meet the Candidates. I'm your host, Kim Kotis, and I'm here with Brenda Sprader, a candidate for Muskegon County Probate Court Judge. Thank you, Brenda, again. And let's talk a little bit about your background. You're a Muskegon native, and tell me about some of the work that you've done here in the community outside of your practice as an attorney.
Well, many folks already know I dance, and that's a great talent to have because I can use that in so many ways to give back to the community. For example, this was my 8th year of the local Dancing with the Stars. And I do some choreography for the opening number and or closing number each year. And I also get a new star every year to train. We start in November, and by the end of February, he's ready to dance in front of a sold-out audience for the local Dancing with the Stars.
And Dancing with the Local Stars benefits the Women's Chamber.
Women's Division Chamber of Commerce puts that on, but it benefits the local food pantries. Okay. We've raised over $500,000 in the 8 years that we've been doing the event, and I'm very pleased and proud to be a part of that event.
Well, that's important, and I guess this leads back to the give back of how do you give back to the community in your own capacity outside of your professional life.
Right, and an interesting fact regarding Dancing with the Stars, my very first year was, my partner was Judge Pittman. So I got to know him very well because, of course, we practiced dance for 3 months. He was a fun partner. He played saxophone, so he had rhythm, and we had a great time. And I've had some other interesting stars. Frank Peterson, the city manager, was this last year, and we had a very interesting comedy routine. So it's a lot of fun for me, but it also is a very important thing, I feel, to give back to the community. Other things that I've done is I've worked as free legal aid for the senior citizens. I would do 1 day a month over at the Orchard View Senior Citizen Center. And I also do choreography for Miss Shoreline pageant. I do their opening number, and I'm also starting to be involved with their board and try to help them get that program underway. I've also done a lot of things with children in the community. I feel it's very important to educate them before they get old enough to be in the system as juveniles. What are the laws? What can they get in trouble for? They need to understand that. And I've been to many of the schools, and I've either participated with Career Day or Crime Prevention Day, or just went on a separate day. A teacher invited me to come in and talk. And the children have so many questions about, well, can I get in trouble for this? And what if this happens? And they're very eager to learn. And I think that that's one thing that we should focus on in the community, is teaching the children at middle school age, or early middle school age, what are the laws and what can happen to me if I break those laws.
Well, you mentioned that in your position you deal with guardianship. Does that also include foster care and some of the other things related to children that people should know about?
Well, that would be part of the abuse neglect cases that come before the court, and dealing with placement. And as a public defender, I did work on many of those cases, so I have a good handle on how those cases go. And I feel comfortable that as a judge I would be able to handle those cases. Also, with the kids, the juvenile criminal law would be more applicable to why we should educate the children. So many kids come through the system on little cases, retail fraud cases, breaking into the car, drug charges, CSC cases, where they just didn't understand, oh, I could get in trouble for that. Maybe they were with somebody that committed the crime and were asked to help in some way that they didn't understand they were going to get in trouble for. Or maybe they got in a fight at school and they didn't understand, well, I could get a misdemeanor for fighting. And I think it's important that they understand those things, and they learn how to react in certain situations. Well, if this happens, what should you do?
We all make mistakes. As a defense attorney, I've seen just how costly those mistakes can be. I've also seen the importance of our district court judges' sentencing decisions in determining who goes on to repeat their mistakes and who's able to move past them and remain a productive member of our community. That's why I'm running for district court judge. My name's Joshua Eldon Brady, and I'm asking for your vote on August 2nd.
For nearly 9 years, West Michigan Driving Academy has been providing Muskegon County with complete, comprehensive driver's education. Students spend time both in the classroom and on the road in a state-approved driver's education vehicle with state-certified instructors. West Michigan Driving Academy is the only school in Muskegon that offers both day and evening classes throughout the summer. Accident-free with 150 years of combined experience, you will drive safe at West Michigan Driving Academy.
The Health Hut, located at 3112 Henry Street in Norton Shores, offers a full line of natural and organic groceries, including fresh produce and free-range, hormone-free meats, eggs, cheese, and dairy provided by local farms. Taking pride in carrying products which contain no preservatives, additives, or unhealthy fats, their wide selection of allergen-free foods can accommodate most specialty diets. From frozen desserts and entrees to pastas, baking mixes and cereals, to soups and salad dressings, to chips, candy, and other snacks. The Health Hut. We have your good health in mind.
Are you able to work with families or with the people who come before you in terms of alternative sentencing? Is there any of that included, or is it more sort of deciding custody issues?
Well, with the juveniles that come before the court, the judge certainly has the power to do alternative services. And I think it would be on a case-by-case basis and a severity of the crime what the judge would order.
Are we seeing some success in terms of some of the remediation and things that come before the court? Do you think that things are getting better at trying some of these new approaches?
I think they work in some situations, and in other situations they don't. Is it getting better? I think it's about the same, honestly. I think it works for some families and it doesn't work for other families.
So tell me, Brenda, how important is the fairness issue in terms of people coming before the court and feeling like they were treated fairly and their time was best respected?
I think it's very important. As a judge, it's important to make people feel like their case is important to you and that you're giving them the time and respect that they deserve. If they, a lot of times I hear from clients, well, I didn't get to testify. I didn't get to say what I wanted to say or what I wanted the judge to know. And I think it's important, if people want to have their day in court, that they're given that opportunity. I also feel it's very important that they feel they're treated fairly, no matter whether they have a job that doesn't pay very much or whether they're independently rich, whatever their color of skin, wherever they live in the community, they need to feel that they're treated the same.
Well, that's very important for the people who come before the court, because it's a very daunting experience, I would imagine. Their life is in your hands.
It is. And I feel that it's important that the judge have a good work ethic. I've worked very hard to get to where I'm at today, to have a successful law firm. It takes a lot of man hours to sit at your desk and burn the night oil and be prepared for court when you go. And I think it's important for the judge to be prepared as well, and to be willing to spend those hours to make the docket work. Do you need to come in at 8:30 and start a hearing instead of 9? Then that's something you should do to keep your docket moving along. It's important to the people to give them that time.
Do you think that by having more family court judges, it'll allow the judges maybe to give a little more time to the case as opposed to, trying to expedite getting through all the cases on the docket?
Well, that's a good question. I don't believe we're going to have more family court judges, and maybe that's a misunderstanding that's coming from this new probate judge hearing family law. But the current probate judge does not hear family law. So the family law judge we have, Judge Hoekstra, is going to take over the probate court, and her docket's going to go to the new judge. So there's actually not more judges, same amount.
Well, let's talk about voting on August 2nd. There are two different distinct judge positions that are available.
There are.
Up for election.
We have the probate court judge that there's 5 candidates running, and we have district court judge, there's 4 candidates running. And we are nonpartisan. So in the primary, it's important to look to the bottom of your ballot in the nonpartisan section and choose the judges. Because although you may not feel like you are going to be involved in family court, chances are somebody you know is going to be involved. Maybe it's a sister, maybe it's a cousin or a friend, but a lot of people come through family court. And it's important to have judges there that you can count on to do the job.
Well, people often vote for the top of the ticket, and once they get to the bottom, they're not sure who to vote for, so they end up passing it up. So you have a drop-off in turnout. But
Right.
Could you draw the distinction between the district court and the probate court a little more for those who don't understand the difference?
Sure. District court is going to deal with misdemeanors, low money civil cases, landlord-tenant issues, and those type of issues. And like we discussed, the probate court is going to be a family law position. So they're very different kinds of judges, and it's important to do your research, and I would certainly ask you to consider voting for me on August 2nd. I do have a website, www.electsprader.com. You can also find me on Facebook.
Terrific. And for those of you who aren't taking the judge races seriously, this is something that has consequence for everyone in this community. And it's important that you show up, get informed, and cast your vote. So we encourage you to cast your vote on August 2nd in the primary for probate judge.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here,
Thank you very much.
Big AAA storage, offering individually enclosed climate-controlled units from 5x10 to 10x15 feet. Recommended for records, furniture, valuables, and antiques. As well as outdoor units ranging from 10x15 to 10x35 feet. All units are fenced, lighted, equipped with video cameras, and electronic keyed access with security gate. Open 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Big AAA storage, fulfilling your storage needs.
Hi, my name is David L. Tagg. I'm running for Muskegon County Sheriff. I attended Grand Valley State University where I earned a bachelor's in criminal justice. I also attended the police academy there. I recently retired from the Muskegon County Sheriff's Department where I served 30 years. I started off as a jail guard, later a bailiff, later a subpoena server. I would like your support on August 2nd. Please visit my Facebook page at David L. Tagg.
ASAP Auto Sales, located at 2486 South Getty Street in Muskegon, offers a wide selection of reasonably priced used vehicles from cars and trucks to vans, SUVs, and four-wheel drives. With new selections coming in every day, ASAP's lot is always full, which means whenever you drop in, there's about 100 vehicles to choose from. With a wide selection of vehicles, both domestic and import, they have it all. ASAP Auto Sales, 231-830-9000.